breakaway that set up the Jackets touchdown.
Already, this has been a great response for the Georgia offense. Kirby Smart's really described his team as a resilient bunch all season long. They've taken a lot of punches, especially early. But in the second and third quarter, they seem to get better as the game goes along. And this has been a nice response after the opening turnover.
The run game has been sporadic, but you would think they'd be able to run the ball effectively tonight. Beck on target, as is so often the case, to Dylan Bell. Another member, Greg, of that wide receiver core who's come on lately and has been used some at running back. He threw a touchdown pass last week on a trick play.
So versatile, too.
3rd down and 1. They line up quickly. They use the size of Beck for the first down. He got hit behind the line of scrimmage, but move forward to move the chains. He's every bit of 6'4", 220 pounds. Waited 3 years on the bench. He said, I knew when my time came that if I waited, we would have a great chance to win, given the state of the program. He was right.
He described, hey, 2 years at Georgia is better than 4 at just about anywhere else. So he waited his turn, got very comfortable. And Kirby Smart, he was ready to play years ago. Just waited his turn. Now he's playing at a crazy high level, just 12 starts into his career.
He said if he had to play in recent years, they were not afraid. There's a ricochet and an interception. Off the ricochet, it's LaMiles Brooks with the second takeaway in the opening half of this first quarter. And a 17-yard return for the junior from Jacksonville. Low throw, and it skipped off Lovett into the hands of Brooks.
This. What's in your wallet?
With Boost Infinite, get iPhone 15 Pro with titanium and save up to 40% on your monthly bill. Transcend to a wireless utopia and experience America's smart network. With unparalleled coverage from 3 of the nation's top wireless networks. No trade-in needed to get iPhone 15 Pro with titanium on us. Save up to 40% on your monthly bill and enjoy the latest iPhone every year with unlimited wireless.
Saturdays are about 2 things. Heading to the Home Depot and...
Welcome to College Game Day, built by the Home Depot.
Watching football.
What a smooth handoff.
Watching a lot of football.
They're taking that to the house. Nice technique.
Even football here.
And football snacks.
The Home Depot and College Game Day.
The perfect Saturday.
Upgrade your home with a Samsung Bespoke Smart Refrigerator at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Holiday the unaverage way. Get Double Flex Denim and Gift 'em Flex. Only at Duluth Trading.
Domino's new pepperoni stuffed cheesy bread is the best thing since bacon and jalapeno stuffed cheesy bread, which was the best thing since original stuffed cheesy bread. Get Domino's new pepperoni stuffed cheesy bread or any other 2 or more mix and match items for just $6.99 each at Domino's.
Let's get it. There's never been a better time to get away with a great deal on the Hyundai you've always wanted. Plus America's best warranty and up to 3 years complimentary maintenance. It's your journey. Own every mile at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Now's the time to get in and get away. Sign and drive a Hyundai Palisade with 0 down, 0 first month's payment, and 0 security deposit. Now during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
ABC Saturday Night Football is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? And in part by Boost Infinite. Get unlimited wireless and the latest iPhone every year.
While we were away Rusty Acree in the replay booth deemed that this pass hit the ground, kind of short hopped into the foot of Dominic Lovett. You can see clearly it did. So no interception. No second takeaway of the night for the Georgia Tech defense, and it'll be 2nd and 10 for Georgia at the 29-yard line of Georgia Tech. Midway through the opening quarter, Carson Beck, 3 out of 4 passing for 24 yards. Here comes a Jackets blitz, well picked up by Edwards. A man is open. It's Lovett with the touchdown. They blitzed and did not get there.
Completely stoned, which allows Carson Beck a clean pocket to throw the slot fade to Lovett, a route that he made so many plays on at Missouri, and they just haven't had the opportunities to hit those here in the first 11 games of the year, but they hit one there. Excellent protection, excellent throw, and a big response from the Bulldogs.
After their victory in the Apple Cup today against Washington State, they struggled in that game.
It was back and forth, and a really bold call at the end by Caleb DeBoer that gave him the win.
On first down for Georgia Tech, Dante Smith, the 5th-year senior. He got 7. You'd have to think that game Friday night in the Pac-12 championship game in Las Vegas, the winner will be into the college football playoff, I would think.
No doubt.
If it's Washington, there's absolutely no doubt. I think Oregon would go too.
And Oregon was put at 6 even before their resume really warranted a ranking in the top 6, but the eye test has been so impressive. So yes, they win, they're in.
A couple of Heisman Trophy candidates and the 2 quarterbacks there, Bo Nix and Michael Penix Jr. Fake to Smith, the little dump off to Luke Benson. He ran over Kamari Lassiter at the end of that. 7 yards on the completion to Benson, his 8th catch of the year. Transfer from bowl eligible Syracuse University, the Harvard of Central New York. On national TV were not true. Now the pistol. Buster Faulkner, the offensive coordinator, spent the last 3 years as a quality control assistant at Georgia. A lot of familiarity on these coaching staffs on both sides. Haynes stacked up. Crowd thought a little extracurricular. Smile Munden leading the way for Georgia, their second leading tackler. There's Faulkner on the left, and he has brought with him a lot of the principles that Georgia's used on offense to great effect in recent years under Todd Monken and now Mike Bobo.
Yeah, very similar in the way they do things, with the exception of utilizing quarterback run. That's something they absolutely have to do, knowing Haynes King's skill set, but their formations and identities very comparable based on the experience he had at Georgia.
On 2nd and 10, King flushed, sets, Singleton, a nice catch, and a first down for Georgia Tech at the Georgia 29-yard line.
And great movement in the pocket by Haynes King. Munden unblocked. He's rushing. Haynes King escapes to his left but keeps his eyes downfield. And a great job by Singleton escaping upfield, creating a little separation and reeling it in. That was a tremendous play by the quarterback.
It was highly recruited out of Longview, Texas, Longview High School, where he played for his dad, a very successful coach, John King. Here's Haynes King again. Eighth play of the drive. Georgia Tech trying to take its second lead of this opening quarter. Dante Smith got inside the 15-yard line as we go down to 2.5 minutes. Well, an impressive note. LSU's Jaden Daniels, who a lot of people think has a great chance to win the Heisman Trophy. Into the traffic and down 3 yards short of the first down. Kristen Miller made the tackle for University of Georgia.
Third and short situation. The last time down here in the third and medium, 3rd and 7 or 8, they went for the quarterback counter, and Georgia had no answer as Haynes King went untouched to the end zone. You'd imagine Brett Key's going to be very aggressive tonight, so might have 2 downs to get it here. So I anticipate quarterback run here on the 10-yard line.
Toss to Dante Smith, and he's dragged down short of the first down by Smile Munden, the inside linebacker, and very close to the first down, and they are going to go for it.
And a little bit like a speed option where Haynes King holds it for just a half second and does a quick pitch. Very close there by Munden. Looked like he grabbed the back of the jersey, but it was a good effort by him as he made the tackle short of the line to gain.
Well, after looking like they were going to go for it, he sends the field goal team out. I'm really surprised by this.
I don't agree with this. Field goals are not going to beat Georgia.
No. And you've got the crowd into it. even a lot of early momentum here. And for a guy who's a former offensive lineman, you'd think he'd put it on.
Florida up 12-0 against the Knolls. Back to you, Sean.
That game will be watched with great interest. The Seminoles playing without Jordan Travis as the starting quarterback for the first time this year. 10-7 lead. It's a pooch kickoff and a fair catch made by Dylan Bell. You're watching Rivalry Week presented by the Mazda CX-90. This rivalry dates back to 1893. These two head coaches played in it. They overlapped a little bit in the late 90s. Each went 3-1 against their rivals as players, 1-1 head-to-head. It was Georgia Tech winning in 1998 with Brent Key as a starting offensive guard. Georgia won in 1997 with Kirby Smart in the defensive backfield. Brent Key started 44 straight games at guard for George O'Leary, his mentor, back in the late 90s. Here's Beck on the run and throws it away. And that's, I think, what makes the decision to kick the field goal more surprising. He must have used, Brent Key, the word toughness and physicality when he talked about the kind of program he wants to build at least a dozen times when we chatted the other day. You have a chance to kind of set a physical tone there and you kick the field goal.
Yeah, I mean, playing, like you referenced, with George O'Leary, that maybe the toughest coach of all time. And I think that was a big mistake there by Brent Key. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite him. But, man, you got to score touchdowns to beat the Bulldogs.
Georgia team 5th in the country in scoring offense. Better than 40 points per game. Chanelius Tatum dropped Dejon Edwards for a loss of 1. What might be the last play of this first quarter, although Georgia's scurrying the line up. And Beck is not going to snap it. Georgia Tech, the edge in play in the first quarter. ESPN's presentation of college football on ABC will return after this message. That's the plan. It's not likely to be successful against the two-time defending national champs. It's working so far, though. Beck, there's a busted coverage on 3rd down and 11. Dejon Edwards, a long run across midfield. They're actually going to spot him right out at the 50-yard line. So on 3rd and 11, they get 26.
Strange to have a busted coverage coming out of a timeout, too, between the quarters. They completely bust. There's nobody in man coverage on Dejon Edwards. It's man coverage everywhere else. The outside corner gets dragged inside on in-breaking route, and Edwards takes it for a big gain.
Georgia best in the country this year on 3rd down, 56.9% coming in. And 2 for 2 tonight, and now through a big hole, Kendall Milton to the 31-yard line of the Jackets. Clayton Powell-Lee, the stop of defensive back.
And just a great run here by Milton. He sees the left side. Micah Morris, the left guard, get his man inside. He cuts right off his backside, breaks it to the left for another nice gain.
Saw Oscar Delp, the tight end, coming across the formation. He resets to the left end of the line. He'll see the bulk of the action at tight end tonight without Brock Bowers. Milton again spinning ahead inside the 25. The Georgia Tech defense coordinated by Kevin Shearer, who coached for Kirby Smart at Georgia. Coached the outside linebackers when Kirby first got to Athens. It was a holdover from Mark Rickstaff. Here's Dylan Bell, dragged down by Clayton Powell-Lee, who saved the touchdown at the 3-yard line. 22 yards for Georgia.
And how about the block by Marius Mims, right tackle, just absolutely destroying one of the safeties for Georgia Tech. Led to a nice gain. Watch the right tackle, number 65. He's engaged with Jalen King and just sends him for a ride. And a great touchdown saving tackle there on the back by Clayton Powell-Lee.
First and goal for Georgia. The Bulldogs trying to take their first lead of the night. Kendall Milton, touchdown. A 3-yard rush, is 9th touchdown of the season for the senior from Fresno, California.
And the right side of the offensive line just completely buries the Georgia Tech defensive line. If you look at just how much movement they're getting against Daquan Dowse and Zeke Biggers, a couple of their bigger interior defenders, and they take them for a ride. Milton goes right off the backside for a nice touchdown.
And then 26 yards rushing on that drive. The extra point good for Peyton Woodring, despite the fact that he slipped down. So at 12:40 to go in the first half, Georgia leads Georgia Tech by 4.
How does he have time to visit everyone in one night?
Well, he has VIP parking.
And how does he know if I've been naughty or nice?
He sees everything.
Everything? Let me guess. He's got lots of storage, too. And that's how he does it.
The electric BMW Road Home sales event is on now. Lease the 2024 BMW i5 you drive 40 for $719 per month, now through November 30th.
Sir, there's no easy way to say this. Your wife isn't who she says she is.
I'm sorry?
This is all just a misunderstanding. Had a bad day is all.
I'm a sheriff of the American Constitution.
You want a towel?
Does my moisture pose bother you?
I'm a winner. I'm a winner. Consequences. They're almost here.
What is the point of being a billionaire if I can't have somebody killed?
FX's Fargo. All new Tuesdays on FX. Stream on Hulu.
Some people just know that the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not one based on Paul. You don't want to ride with Paul. Or Sarah. Not today, anyway. And you don't want a rate based on Ben. He's got some important business to take care of. Why would you pay a rate based on anyone else? With Allstate, you're connected to a rate based on you.
Team, it's been a grind. But I think I've aged you well. Some might say perfect. Who's ready to show them who's the cheesiest?
I woke up feeling the cheesiest, coach.
Cheez-It, official sponsor of the college football playoff.
That is definitely him.
Dude, that's Jessica taking a little break with a peppermint frosty.
I'm going in.
What?
Hello. I got something, right? Yeah, that's real.
And now get 20% off in the Wendy's app when you include a Frosty.
Hurry, these Black Friday deals end Saturday, only at Target.
Watch out.
99 cents per month for a year.
Just 99 cents.
What? Hulu's Black Friday deal
Starting off strong.
is here.
Is that right?
Yeah!
Deal ends November 28th.
We gotta celebrate like girls in their 20s.
Back at Bobby Dodd Stadium in the great city of Atlanta. Time for the Aflac trivia question. We want to know when was the last time Georgia Tech defeated Georgia here.
I know this because I was listening to you earlier.
Which is unusual. You were listening to something that I
very
said.
strange.
But I have said it already. I didn't know that was going to be the Aflac trivia question. I might have saved that little nugget. But maybe if you've been watching the football all day, sitting in your favorite chair, you know, your retention isn't as good as it might be. Sure. It's time to answer the Aflac trivia question. Go ahead.
Let's go 1999.
You are correct. And that was a wild overtime win. It was tied at 48 with 13 seconds to go in the game. Bulldogs had the ball at the Jackets' 2-yard line, but fumbled. First overtime, Quincy Carter threw an interception, and then they win it on the field goal. In overtime did Georgia Tech. 11 straight losses to Georgia here since then. 6-yard gain for Jamal Haynes on first down. The Yellow Jackets trailing for the first time tonight now. They had the ball for more than 10 minutes in the first quarter.
they have to be encouraged by how they're moving the football on the ground, too. I mean, Georgia's so stout against the run, so athletic, so big in the interior. But, man, they're giving up some good yardage on the edge.
Haynes again. Fought hard to get within a yard of the first down. Warren Brinson, the tackle for Georgia.
Tackle made by Warren Brinson.
Georgia Tech lined up quickly, and stuffed was Jamal Haynes by Warren Brinson again in the middle of that defensive line. So now it's 4th down on their own 34, and they're going to go for this 4th down and 1. Wow.
Had success outside the tackles. I would try to go there. I mean, up the middle, it's been tough sledding.
Yeah, King's been their best bet, keeping the ball. It's a play fake. Looked like he wanted to launch a long pass on 4th and 1. Instead of Singleton on the comeback at the 41, and they convert. 7-yard gain on 4th down and 1.
And a great job by Singleton, too. He sees his quarterback's in trouble, and he gets friendly. Comes all the way back and secures it right on the sideline for the conversion. That was an excellent job by the freshman.
Dalen Everett had the coverage. Well, it's rivalry week. It's a rivalry game, obviously. You see some interesting things. We have seen several already. Dante Smith trying to turn the corner. He keeps the legs driving and got up to the 48-yard line. 7 yards on 1st down.
It's going to be where Georgia Tech has to live. Their quarterback, Haynes King, he's going to be the guy that will gash Georgia up the middle. But their running backs are going to have to live on the edges, live on the perimeter, see if they can't get flow by the linebackers for the Georgia Bulldogs, who are very aggressive and are very athletic. Get those guys moving sideways, and then you go downhill, because it's a matchup nightmare for this Georgia Tech offensive line against these defensive tackles. Jordan Hall, Zion Logue, Nazir Stackhouse, Walt Howard, they're so good in the middle.
Smith. Tough run to the Georgia 40. 12 more. Chaz Chambliss the stop.
And an excellent job here by the center and the left guard. That's Fusel and Weston Franklin, who get good movement and displace that defensive tackle, where Smith goes right behind him for another nice gain on the stretch zone.
You mentioned how much Brent Key talked about toughness in our meeting. Here's some trickery, and it's King who winds up keeping it. Nifty play drawn by Buster Faulkner. They lined up Dante Smith as a Wildcat quarterback. He handed it off. Then King faked it, and I think that was a design run all the way, don't you?
Well, they had some guys take it off, but there was nobody there. And outside of Singleton, who runs 10-2 in the 100, there's nobody wearing a white jersey tonight that's as fast or as explosive as Haynes King. So a good decision to take off and get what you can get.
Jordan Hall, backup defensive lineman, is the injured player. And as they tend to him, a chance for Georgia to catch its breath on defense. They're on their heels. 12-yard run there for King.
This has been something that has been problematic for Georgia really all season long. It started in the Auburn game, where Peyton Thorne made a bunch of plays with his legs, and then it carried over into the Missouri game, where Schrader, the Missouri running back, was able to hit stretch zone after stretch zone after stretch zone, just really pounding the edges of that defensive line. And they've had some struggles as Glenn Schumann is lighting in to his defense, very frustrated with how they're kind of attacking the outside and perimeter run game.
33-year-old defensive coordinator Kirby Smart, obviously very actively involved. You see Will Muschamp in the background, former head coach at South Carolina and Florida, who's the co-defensive coordinator. It's a lot of resources.
That's a pretty good 1-2 punch right there. Schumann, certainly a future head coach, taking the route comparable to that of his head coach and Kirby Smart. He's in a great spot. Said yes, someday maybe that opportunity will present itself, but He thinks he has the best defensive coordinator job in America, and it's hard to argue with him. So he's going to wait for the right one, and we'll see if that comes open at some point in the future.
Well, let's see if the injury slows down the Jackets' momentum. Dante Smith. Boy, he's a tough runner, just 5'11", 198 pounds, out of Spring Hill, Tennessee. This is his senior night, last home game at Bobby Dodd Stadium. He has 6 carries now for 35 yards.
Yeah, their backs are excellent. Both Jamal Hayes, who's that converted wide receiver with great top-end speed, but a little bit smaller, and Smith, a little bit more physical at nearly 200 pounds, and both have showcased big play potential. Smith had almost 200 yards against North Carolina a few weeks ago.
They average almost 200 yards per game rushing. They're in the top 20 in the country. Jamal Haynes up the middle. 2 yards short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 2. Really all the numbers on offense much improved under Buster Faulkner. We asked Kirby Smart, he at all worried that the offensive coordinator on the other side was with you the last 3 years? He said, no, not really. You know, in this day and age, everybody knows a lot about everybody else. But what a job Faulkner has done. They're the most improved team in FBS in points per game. 31.9 this year, up by almost 15. And 5th biggest improvement in total yards per game. 435 this year. You can do the math. Or maybe you can't. Malik Rutherford has the first down and got clubbed. There is a flag down. You see, he got taken down at the 11. Flag behind the play. Raylan Wilson, a true freshman linebacker. Abdul Jannah, a backup wide receiver transfer from Duquesne, called for a very costly penalty.
And really completely unnecessary. I mean, he's engaged there with Everett on the outside and just holds on way too long. Excuse me, that's Tyke Smith who he's engaged with. It's just Rutherford's running at full speed. There's no way Tyke Smith can make that tackle. You have to let go and let your receiver get that first down.
Well, Jannah didn't like it, as you saw after you looked at the replay. It looked to be a hold, so the first down is wiped out, and now it's 3rd down and 9 with 7 minutes to go in the first half. They are in field goal range for Aiden Burr. Haynes and Smith in the backfield together. And trouble. It looked like King was trying to pull it back and keep it, and got tangled up with Jamal Haynes. And now the field goal team will come out.
Yeah, he tried to pull this ball at the last minute, but that's very difficult. Once the ball gets outside the hip of the quarterback, the running back anticipates that ball being given. Haynes tries to pull it late. It hits the deck. Fortunate that he was able to recover to give his team a chance at a field goal.
The 45-yarder from Aiden Burr, who's 12 out of 13 this season as a freshman, and that's a knuckleball that goes through. Georgia Tech hanging right in there with the #1 team in the country. You're watching ESPN Saturday Night Football on ABC. Drive. They've held the ball for more than 6.5 minutes on each of those 2 drives that resulted in 3 points. Mekhi Muse with another kickoff right along the sideline. He went charging right up the boundary, and a nice return out to the 36-yard line. Here's Kevin Nagandi.
Showing time now for our AT&T countdown to the CFP National Championship, and Blue Florida State, they're down 12-0, showing some life here.
No doubt. I love this throw by Rodemaker. The first throw of the night, and he ripped in there. Nice shot to Bell.
And then Trey Benson going in, and they're on the board right now at the half on ESPN. It's Florida with a 12-7 lead. Sean, Greg, Molly, back to you.
All right, Kevin, one of the opposites absolutely have to have, and they need to beat Louisville, too, in the championship game next week, Greg, if they're going to be in the CFP. I don't think they're going to take a one-loss Florida State team without Jordan Travis.
No, not under their own accord.
Carson Beck wanted to fling it deep. He pulled it down. Now he takes off. And he ran out of bounds at the 41, perhaps the 42. Tonight's college football playoff rankings brought to you by Capital One. Matter of fact, last week, After the injury to Travis, Florida State was dropped from 4 to 5, although Boo Corrigan, the chairman, said it really had more to do with the way Washington played last week, a win at Oregon State. Ohio State lost to Michigan. Michigan will certainly be in the college football playoff if the Wolverines can take care of business in the Big Ten title game against Iowa. Kendall Milton for a first down. Kyle Eford made the tackle, 7 yards on the play.
Every time you watch Milton running against these linebackers, he seems to be falling forward. I mean, all season long when he's been healthy, it really hasn't been much. Really just the last couple weeks, he's getting stronger and stronger and stronger, but he's one of the best in the SEC and all of college football. After 4 yards after contact per carry, but he's a load when he's getting downhill.
7 for 63, averaging 9 per carry. He came into tonight averaging 6 yards per carry. Part of an effective tandem at running back with Dejon Edwards. Here comes a Georgia Tech blitz. Milton got away and was tripped up just shy of the 45-yard line of Georgia Tech.
And just internal pressure here by Kevin Sherrod, the defensive coordinator, but lateral agility there by Milton, who's able to slide to the right and get some yardage, was impressive.
Milton again. Edwards, their leading ball carrier, watching from the sideline. He had the early fumble. He's carried only twice in the game. Milton with 9 rushes now, and he remains the running back. Huge hole, off he goes. They will not get him. Touchdown. There is a flag back at the 30-yard line. And they're bringing it back. A 36-yard touchdown is going to be wiped out, it seems. Xavier Truss has played guard and tackle. He's moved inside to guard tonight with the return of Amarius Mims.
He goes right up and engages with Eford, but as Eford tries to break back to the inside, Truss and his left arm is holding that shoulder. And the umpire makes the call, even though he gets hit a moment later. Just a big mistake there by Truss, who's filled in admirably this year in the absence of Amarius Mims.
Mammoth senior from West Warwick, Rhode Island, out of Bishop Hendricken High School. He's 6'7", 320. A blitz. They lofted it over the head of the blitzer, and Edwards out of bounds. Kyle Eford there again. He looks like he would have played in this rivalry back when Kirby Smart and Brent Key played with him.
You gotta love
neck equipment.
You gotta love the cowboy collar, man. I mean, he is a throwback. Not very big. He's going to grow into his body. Only 215 or so pounds, but he plays with great intensity and has great understanding of leverage, and he's going to be a good one in time for Brent Key and the Jackets.
George already up to 201 yards of total offense with 3 minutes to go in the half, leading 14-13. Beck, plenty of time, throws. Dylan Bell was open. They couldn't complete it.
Rare miss there from Carson Beck. That's 2 now that have been really off the mark, uncatchable. He has been absolutely ridiculously accurate the last couple weeks, so uncharacteristic misses on a couple throws already tonight.
Playing without Brock Bowers, who did warm up but was clearly gimpy. He recovers from ankle surgery. He played their last 2 games after missing 2. But Kirby Smart told us last night he's really been much more sore this past week than he had been after those previous couple of games. Here's Edwards running for the first down on 3rd and 9. Good block by by Bauer stand-in Oscar Delp.
Oscar Delp's really a guy that is not a great blocker at this stage of his career. But Mike Bobo, the offensive coordinator, says, man, he really works. He's one of our strongest guys pound for pound. That time, he does a great job against LaMiles Brooks and springs Edwards for a nice gain.
Blitz from deep doesn't impact Beck at all. And there is Delp. More of a receiver than he is a blocker. That's his 20th catch of the year. He was a terrific lacrosse player in high school. Thought that might be a sport in college. His dad played at Rutgers lacrosse. First and goal after the 16-yard play. And to me, Greg, if I were Brent Key, I would be thinking about timeouts here. You need every possession you can get. You move the ball.
I think 100%. I think at this point, you got to start thinking about it, especially after this next down at the very least. Give your offense a chance, especially knowing, too, that Georgia will get the ball coming out in the second half, and they have a chance here to take it all the way down and go 2 for 1 potentially.
Yep. No sign of it. Edwards remains the running back on the right hip of Beck. And Edwards lunges for the goal line. Touchdown.
Just a great run there by Edwards. It looked initially like he was going to be stopped by Clayton Powell-Lee. The progressive pylon cam shows that he runs right through the attempt of Powell-Lee, extends with nothing that touches the ground, and breaks the line to gain. Just a terrific run there by Edwards, bouncing back from the early fumble.
His 11th rushing touchdown of the season. And here's Woodring for his 3rd extra point. He's now scored 114 points. And movement before the snap. That is the Georgia freshman scoring record. Previously held by Blair Walsh, kicked in the NFL. Walsh had 95 points back in 2008. Officials discussing what the flag will be after the movement.
False start. Offense number 13. Let's still the try down.
Georgia's had a lot of really good kickers over the years. Think of our friend Kevin Butler's here tonight, part of the Georgia radio pregame and postgame show. Well, I believe is still the only kicker in the College Football Hall of Fame.
Really? That is pretty remarkable. I'm shocked by that. Heard he's
and I might be wrong. I know at least a couple of years ago that was the case.
I'll buy it. Better golfer than kicker, though, correct?
Yeah, excellent golfer. Not as good as his son Drew, the great Ray Guy award-winning punter at Georgia.
But I think I've aged you well.
Lights plus reaction coming your way, Sean. Back to you.
All right, Kevin. It has been a wild day of college football. On first down, Jamal Haynes stopped after a 5-yard gain. Down to a minute to go in the half. Georgia Tech at its own 30.
Well, it's not great field position, but they need to be aggressive. I mean, their defense is really struggling so far against Georgia, and they get the ball in the second half. They need to go try to steal some points.
Haynes out of bounds, and there is a flag. Looked like it might be a face mask on Malachi Starks. The officials are talking about it. I think the official, well, let's see. His head definitely snapped back, but was it a face mask?
Doesn't look like a face mask to me. It looks like that hand is up above the face mask.
Face mask. Defense number 24.
Yeah, close call. I mean, live, his head snapped around on that replay. It just kind of looked like he grabbed him by the forehead.
That's what it looked like. I didn't feel like he grabbed any part of the face mask, just kind of hit the helmet. Looked like there at the end, maybe if you're looking at it closely, maybe the pinky goes into the face mask a bit. Didn't look like much there. I'm surprised they called that.
We'll get the opinion of Matt Austin in a moment. It's a big call. Gets them to the 48-yard line. But only 41 seconds left in the half. Haynes King is 6 out of 7 passing. He's their leading rusher. Here's Jamal Haynes. First down to the 32-yard line. An 11-yard gain, and now they'll use their first timeout. When you think of how much time they wasted. Well, they didn't use a timeout on defense, and they started the operation very slowly on this possession.
Haynes King's been terrific here in the first half of the football game, and the plan for Buster Faulkner has been excellent as well. RPO to start things off. He hits Scyther as those linebackers get greedy. They come up. Scyther goes right behind him. He hits him in stride. The misdirection continued. Fake the stretch zone to the left. You boot Haynes King back out to the right, and he hits Singleton, who's crossing field on the over route. And then to finish things up, more misdirection. Shows the jet sweep to the left. QB power up inside. Haynes King untouched into the end zone. He's been off to a terrific start, and he's the reason why Georgia Tech has a chance here at the end to close the gap against the Bulldogs.
Given time, and a one-handed grab by Malik Rutherford, and then he couldn't hang on. Did he? Yes, he did. The ball came out after he hit the ground, and it is an 8-yard gain, perhaps 7. Did he catch it? Yes, he did, even with Javon Bullard right on him. So they use another timeout. They're at the 30-yard line with 29 seconds to go and 1 timeout. And there's no question that this is a much better Georgia Tech team than Georgia has faced in recent years.
They are really playing at a pretty high level, with the exception of the 4th down decision by Brent Key, where they decided to kick the field goal instead of go for it. That would be the one thing I'd kind of disagree with, what's gone on. And then they had a chance a moment ago, had the drive stalled because of a penalty, the hold by Janah. They've been able to move the football and have had a couple of self-inflicted mistakes that have taken some points off the board.
Well, we're seeing the biggest reason for the improvement, the quarterback, Haynes King, who's throwing toward the end zone. And is incomplete. Looking for the former wide receiver, now running back, Jamal Haynes. Smile Munden had the primary coverage.
Tried to work a slot fade, very similar to the route that was thrown by Carson Beck a little earlier for the touchdown. That time throws inside and didn't really give the receiver much of a chance to make a play.
They're 1 out of 6 on 3rd down. They are in field goal range. They've already kicked 2 of them.
I anticipate pressure here from Georgia. See if they can't knock him out of field goal range with a sack.
On 3rd and 3, that's going to be very close. C.J. Allen, the true freshman, made the tackle. Got his first career start a couple of weeks ago. Jamon Dumas Johnson injured and out of action. They got the first down according to officials, so they spike it.